The architecture of calculated souls. You've felt it before. That cold clarity when you realize someone has been 3 steps ahead the entire time. When kindness reveals itself as choreography. When you understand that some people don't stumble through relationships, they design them. This is about Machiavellianism, about the Dark Triad, about the architecture of calculated souls, and why you can't stop thinking about them. Because somewhere inside you knows the game has always been playing, and you've been playing it blind. The first recognition: you are being read. Machiavellianism isn't villainy. It's pragmatism stripped of its disguise. It's the understanding that truth is often less useful than perception. That morality is a luxury afforded to those who don't need to win. That people are not inherently good or bad, they're predictable. The Machiavellian doesn't hate you, they simply see you as a pattern. Your insecurities are entry points. Your desires are levers. Your need to be understood is the door they walk through without knocking. They know something you're still learning. People don't want honesty. They want their version of reality confirmed. Feed them that, and you can lead them anywhere. This is the first recognition, the one that makes your stomach turn. You realize someone in your life has been doing this to you. Or worse, you realize you've been doing it to others without naming it. The Machiavellian operates from a simple philosophy. Outcomes matter more than methods. Reputation matters more than character. And control matters more than connection. They don't lose sleep over manipulation because they don't see it as manipulation. They see it as efficiency, as strategy, as the natural order of things when you remove the comforting illusion that the world runs on fairness. And here's what disturbs you most. They're often right. The person who plays honestly often finishes last. The one who shows vulnerability first often gets used. The one who trusts freely often learns the hard way that trust is a currency, not a virtue. So the Machiavellian adapts. They become fluent in the language of social exchange. They give compliments that cost them nothing. They create alliances that serve immediate goals. They wear masks so practiced that even they forget what's underneath. And you can feel it when you're in their presence. That subtle wrongness. The conversation that feels like chess. The warmth that never quite reaches their eyes. But you can't prove it because they've mastered plausible deniability. Every move has an innocent explanation. Every coldness has a reasonable excuse. This is the genius of Machiavellianism. It operates in the gray space where accusation sounds like paranoia. The second layer, the triad, emerges. But Machiavellianism doesn't travel alone. It's one vertex of a triangle, the Dark Triad. 3 traits that move together like a shadow cast by the same light. Machiavellianism, Narcissism, Psychopathy. Each is distinct. Each is devastating. Together, they form something rare and unsettling. A personality architecture designed for dominance. The narcissist needs to be worshipped. The psychopath needs nothing at all. The Machiavellian needs to win. Let me show you how they differ. The narcissist believes they're the center of the universe. They require constant validation, constant admiration. They're not playing chess, they're performing. Every interaction is a stage where they must be the star. They manipulate, yes, but it's almost accidental, a side effect of their desperate need to be seen as exceptional. You know them. They dominate conversations. They make your achievements about themselves. They punish you with silence when you fail to applaud. They're exhausting, but predictable. Starve them of attention, and they either escalate or move on. The psychopath is different. Colder. They lack the narcissist's desperate need and the Machiavellian's careful planning. They simply don't feel the things that make you human. Guilt is foreign. Empathy is intellectual, not visceral. They can hurt you and feel nothing. Not pleasure, not remorse, nothing. They're the ones who unsettle you most deeply. Because when you look into their eyes during a cruel moment, you see no conflict, no suppressed emotion fighting to surface, just calculation. Like watching a machine decide whether you're useful or disposable. But the Machiavellian, they're the strategist. They don't need worship like the narcissist. They don't lack feeling like the psychopath. They simply subordinate feeling to strategy. They feel empathy, but they don't let it interfere. They understand your pain. They just value their goal more. This is the critical distinction. The Machiavellian isn't broken. They're optimized. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. We all have these traits in varying degrees. The Dark Triad isn't a binary, it's a spectrum. You've used people. You've presented a false version of yourself. You've prioritized your needs over someone else's feelings. The question isn't whether you have these traits, it's how much, and how consciously. Because the person high in the Dark Triad isn't struggling with these choices. They've made peace with them. They've looked at the social contract and decided it's optional. A suggestion, not a law. And they're often successful because of it. They climb corporate ladders. They seduce effortlessly. They navigate social systems like they have access to the source code. You resent them. But part of you also envies them. That freedom from guilt, that clarity of purpose, that immunity to the emotional turbulence that constantly disrupts your life. The third descent, why you're drawn to them. Let's talk about the part you don't want to admit. You're attracted to these people, not despite their darkness, because of it. The confident narcissist who commands every room. The mysteriously detached psychopath who seems untouchable. The strategic Machiavellian who always knows what to say. They have something you want: certainty, control, the appearance of being immune to the chaos that drowns everyone else. And they see your hunger. They always do. Here's how it works. You meet them and feel immediately understood. They reflect back exactly what you want to see in yourself. They make you feel special, chosen, seen in a way others never managed. This isn't accident. This is design. The Dark Triad individual is a master of mirroring. They become whatever you need them to be in that moment. Not because they care, but because your emotional state is data. Your needs are variables in an equation they're solving in real time. They give you intensity, unpredictability, the addictive cycle of punishment and reward that your brain mistakes for depth. You think, finally, someone who matches my complexity, someone who isn't boring, someone who makes me feel alive. But what you're feeling isn't connection, it's activation. They've triggered your attachment system, your trauma responses, your deep need to earn love from someone who withholds it. And once you're hooked, the real dynamic begins. They push and pull, available and distant, warm and cruel. They keep you perpetually off balance, never quite sure where you stand. This isn't emotional inconsistency, it's intermittent reinforcement, the most powerful conditioning tool in psychology. You become addicted to the high of their approval. You start measuring your worth by their attention. You tolerate things you never thought you would, because the alternative, losing them, feels unbearable. This is trauma bonding. This is the Dark Triad's most effective tool. And the worst part? You defend them. To your friends, to yourself. You explain away the cruelty. You highlight the rare moments of tenderness as proof of their real nature. You become their accomplice in your own exploitation. Because admitting you've been manipulated means admitting you were fooled. And your ego can't bear it. So you stay. You rationalize. You twist yourself into smaller and smaller shapes, hoping that if you just figure out the right combination, they'll finally treat you the way they did in the beginning. But that beginning was never real. It was a sales pitch, and you bought it. The fourth revelation: the mirror turns inward. Now comes the part that changes everything. Stop looking at them. Look at yourself. Why were you vulnerable to this? What need were they filling? What wound were they salting that you've been ignoring? Because here's the truth that dissolves everything. The Dark Triad can only dominate those who've already abandoned themselves. The narcissist needs someone hungry for validation. The psychopath needs someone who ignores their instincts. The Machiavellian needs someone who trusts performance over pattern. You were a match because you were already hollow, already seeking external proof of your worth, already willing to betray your own perception for the comfort of being chosen. This isn't blame. This is liberation. Because once you see your role in the dynamic, you can unmake it. You can stop asking why they're like this and start asking why you accepted it. Most people never get here. They spend their lives pointing at the Dark Triad individual, building cases, seeking validation that yes, that person was bad. And they're not wrong, but they're not free either. They move from one version of the dynamic to the next, changing the characters but never the script, because they haven't addressed the real issue, their own lack of center. You cannot be manipulated if you're not desperate for something outside yourself. You cannot be gaslit if you trust your own perception. You cannot be controlled if you're willing to walk away. The Dark Triad thrives on your self-abandonment, on your need to be liked, to be included, to be special. They exploit the gap between who you are and who you wish you were. Close that gap, and they have no leverage. This is the revelation that splits reality open. You're not the victim of their darkness. You're the collaborator in your own dimming. Every time you ignored your gut, every time you explained away the red flag, every time you prioritized their comfort over your own dignity, every time you stayed when everything in you screamed to leave. Those weren't their choices. Those were yours. And this is either devastating or liberating, depending on what you do with it. Because if you made yourself vulnerable, you can make yourself sovereign. If you learn to abandon yourself, you can learn to return. If you gave your power away, you can take it back. But it requires something most people can't stomach: taking full responsibility for the situation you're in. Not blame, responsibility. Blame keeps you small and righteous. Responsibility makes you dangerous and free. Next is the fifth understanding: becoming ungovernable. So what do you do with this knowledge? You have two paths. The first, you learn the game. You study the Dark Triad playbook. You become strategic, guarded, cynical. You decide that if the world is manipulation, you'll become a better manipulator. You'll protect yourself by never being vulnerable. You'll win by playing their game better than they do. This path works, sort of. You'll climb, you'll succeed, you'll be safe. You'll also be alone, because you'll have become the thing you feared. You'll have let their darkness rewrite your code. You'll wake up one day and realize you're running their operating system, and the person you used to be is gone. The second path is harder, and it's the only one that leads to freedom. You build a self so solid that manipulation slides off it. You develop discernment so sharp that you see the game in the first 3 moves. You cultivate a life so full that no one person can threaten your stability. You don't become cold, you become clear. You don't close your heart, you guard it with intelligence. You don't stop trusting, you start trusting accurately. This means getting comfortable with conflict, with disappointing people, with being misunderstood, with walking away from situations that others would tolerate because they're afraid of being alone. It means building your own validation system so you're not starved for external approval. It means knowing yourself so well that no one can sell you a false version of yourself. It means becoming the kind of person the Dark Triad finds boring, because you're not reactive, not desperate, not malleable. And here's the paradox. This path makes you more loving, not less, because you're finally loving from wholeness instead of lack. You're choosing people instead of needing them. You're giving freely instead of trading desperately. The Dark Triad can't touch this, because there's nothing for them to exploit. You become ungovernable, not because you're aggressive or defended, but because you're rooted. You know who you are. You know what you'll accept, and you're willing to be alone rather than betray either. This is the only antidote to the Dark Triad. A self that cannot be purchased, manipulated, or confused. The final turn. What you carry forward. Let me leave you with something you need to hear. The fact that you're here, listening to this, means something. It means you've sensed the game. You've felt the manipulation. You've started to wake up. Most people never do. They live their entire lives in the dream, wondering why relationships feel hollow, why success feels empty, why they can never quite trust their own experience. You're different. You've looked into the dark and recognized something there. Maybe you saw someone else. Maybe you saw yourself. Either way, you looked. That takes courage, and it costs something. Because once you see the architecture of calculated souls, you can't unsee it. You'll spot it everywhere, In the charismatic leader, the seductive partner, the strategic friend, the ambitious colleague. You'll see how people position themselves, how they manage impressions, how they trade in the currency of emotional manipulation without ever naming it. And you'll have to decide, do you become cynical or do you become wise? Cynicism is easier. It's the armor of people who got hurt and decided never again. They see the Dark Triad everywhere because they're looking for it. They trust no one because they can't trust themselves to discern. Wisdom is harder. It's seeing the game without becoming a player. It's recognizing manipulation without assuming everyone is manipulative. It's protecting yourself without closing yourself off. Wisdom says, yes, these people exist. Yes, they're dangerous. Yes, you've probably already encountered them. But they're not the majority. They're just the most memorable. Most people are stumbling through life trying to figure it out, just like you. They're not strategically manipulating. They're coping, surviving, doing the best they can with the awareness they have. The Dark Triad is real, but it's not everywhere. Your job isn't to see darkness in everyone. It's to see clearly enough that you can tell the difference. And here's what you'll find when you do. The people worth knowing will prove themselves over time, through consistency, through actions that match words, through their response when they have nothing to gain. The Dark Triad can't fake that, not long term, because eventually the mask slips. The pattern reveals itself. The performance breaks down. And when it does, you'll be ready. Not with rage or victimhood, but with clarity. You'll see it, name it, and walk away. No drama, no explanation, no second chances for people who've shown you exactly who they are. This is power. Not the Dark Triad's power, the power to control others, but real power, the power to control yourself. So here's what you carry forward. You are not required to be everyone's narcissistic supply. You are not obligated to be useful to the Machiavellian. You are not responsible for humanizing the psychopath. You are only responsible for knowing yourself well enough that you can't be sold a false version. Build that. Protect that. Honor that. And watch how quickly the Dark Triad moves on to easier targets. Because they're not interested in a challenge. They're interested in victory. And you're no longer a game they can win. This is MindX. Welcome home. If this cut through the noise and named something you've been feeling, let the algorithm know. It helps this reach the people who need to hear it. Drop a comment with something simple, something that tells me you stayed. Maybe just, I see it now. And if you want more of this, more dark psychology, more uncomfortable truths, more philosophy that doesn't look away, subscribe. Because we're just getting started. The dark is only terrifying until you learn to see in it. We'll teach you how.